Ibn Battuta was born in Morocco in North Africa in 1304 AD. He was from a rich Muslim family. He went to the best schools in his hometown of Tangier. When Ibn Battuta was 20 years old in 1325, he went on Hajj to Mecca, as many rich young men did because all good Muslims were supposed to visit Mecca. It took him about 8 or 9 months to get to Mecca, and he had many adventures along the way. But after Ibn Battuta got to Mecca, he decided he liked to travel and he wasn't in any hurry to go home. So in November 1386, he left Mecca for the east. He went first to Mesopotamia, where he saw the tomb of Ali and visited Baghdad, recently destroyed by the Mongols. Then he went on to Persia. After Iran, Ibn Battuta joined another group of people going west on Hajj to Mecca and traveled with them until he got back to Mecca. On the way, he got very sick. But in 1328, Ibn Battuta started traveling again. He left Mecca on a ship, headed south down the coast of Arabia. He toured on a rented camel and then a horse, and then crossed the Red Sea over to see East Africa. He sailed down the coast of East Africa, seeing the cities of Zili and Mogadishu in Ethiopia, where people spoke mainly Swahili. Then he went even further south to Kilwa. But even after visiting East Africa, Ibn Battuta didn't go home to Morocco. He rested for a few months in Mecca and then he went to Egypt on accident, and then from there northern Turkey instead. From Turkey he went east to Central Asia, so he got to Constantinople, but he didn't like it because most people there were Christian. So he went back to Central Asia and headed to India. It took him several years to get to China. He was attacked by bandits and pirates several times and lost all his belongings in shipwrecks more than once. By the time he got to China, it was 1345, and Ibn Battuta was 40 years old and had been away from home for 20 years. Ibn Battuta didn't like China because the people there were Buddhist instead of Muslims. Ibn Battuta decided to head back home to Morocco. It took him 5 more years to get there, and he had to travel through places where people were dying of the death. But Ibn Battuta did not stop traveling yet. He left very soon for Spain, where he saw the great palace of Granada. When he came back to Morocco, he soon took another trip south across the Sahara Desert to seek the Kingdom of Mali in West Africa. Then Ibn Battuta went home again in 1354. He was 50 years old and he spent the rest of his life in Morocco as a judge, writing a book, the Rila, that told all about his travels. He died around 1368 when he was 64 years old.